Hey, Jasmine. So in this week's announcement, I had requested that students place the magazine ad, the finalized magazine ad, along with the banner ad, just so we can check the successful adaptation. I don't see the magazine ad here, just so you understand, so I can't really comment in that regard. But I do have the banner up. We can go ahead and take a look at that. I was just going through your writing one more time to make sure I didn't miss any questions, which it doesn't look like there's any questions here. So let's go ahead and jump right over to the end. Oh, I will address things like this, though. I wanted the text to be more cohesive. I did accidentally forget to include my mask. I'll go over all that stuff. So let's just go ahead and jump right over to the banner. Okay, from the top, I think I had mentioned this before in one of the previous iterations. I think maybe in grading. But there's a real disconnect between this area of the color in the magazine ad and in the banner ad. And I think you did address that. Banner ad was balance, bright, and contrast because my original seemed too bright. Yeah. Also, there's a little bit of a color shift, as I recall, as well. As we look at this banner ad, I remember the magazine ad was not the greatest quality image at all. And we can really see that here. We see a lot of damage here in this banner ad. I'm sorry, in the background image itself. You might consider, now that you're totally proficient in a lot of the associated tasks for this assignment, I think it would be really easy for you to change the background image just to try to find a higher quality image. So you might want to think about that. It shouldn't take you long at all. I mean, it's just a matter of replacing the image. So you might consider that as this is borderline. I guess if you click in, you can kind of see. I can't really zoom in much more with this GIF file, but if you zoom in, you'll see a real extremely damaged pixelization, compression artifact, and evidence of blurriness as well. I'm not so sure this is suitable for inclusion in the student portfolio. I know if I were to receive this in a student portfolio, or if I were reviewing a portfolio, or if I were to see this work in a portfolio that was sent from a designer that is interested in an internship or a job, my comment here would be the background image is pretty low quality. So you might consider that. Also, it's a really cloudy image too. Typically, you don't want to include clouds in an image for a resort spa, specifically one located in the Caribbean. I did work a few years ago. I was working for a Mexican resort, and the design team. One of my designers had introduced some images, and one of the images had a cloudy sky, and they were like, "Get that image! We don't even want to see clouds in our imagery." So I don't know, food for thought, right? All right. As far as the ad itself goes, of course, the masked image is missing. That's a requirement. The headline is set in italic. Don't forget, Arial bold for headline, Arial bold italic for subheads, and then Arial regular for body copy, which would, in this case, would be the contact information. So we're missing the masked image. The contact, you don't have to include the entire contact information, just like located in U.S. Virgin Islands. That's all you really need. You don't need any phone numbers or URLs or anything like that. Viewers will know if they click on this banner, it's going to take them to the client's site. So we don't really need to just include the location. That would be fine. Main spa specials. Your text is really super large. It's overtaking. It doesn't really have a symbiotic relationship with the background because the text is overpowering, and that's based only on scale. So my recommendation is to reduce the size of the type. Book now for Amethyst Bay Resort and Spa limited discount. So book now is a call to action, but it's not featuring your promotional offer. So don't forget, you have to take the promotional offer from the magazine ad. I don't recall off the top of my head what that was, and include it in your banner ad. And that promotional offer is the only thing that should be animated. There's a little bit of a disconnect here in your colors. This is not indicative of this color or this color. So you definitely want to, what you could do is you just sample this color with your eyedropper tool, and then it'll show up in the swatch palette in your tools palette. And then what you can do is you can just take that color and save it into your swatches, assign the type that color, so you ensure that you're using the correct colors. Right now there's a disconnect between this purple and this purple, or either one of these purples here. It kind of looks like, I want to check something really quickly because it kind of looks like that. I'm not sure really if I have to usually check this because it looks like the background logo might be a little distorted. So let's do this. I'm going to compare your logo with the original, which is right there. So if we take this, tough to say. It looks like it might be vertically stretched a little bit. When you place your logo and you resize it, you know how you grab the corner bounding box and drag it with your holding your mouse key down to resize? If you hold your shift key down, that'll constrain the original aspect ratio of the logo, so you won't prevent. Right now, this looks like it's a little taller and more narrow. This looks like less tall and wider. So this does look like it has a little bit of a distortion. I'm not saying it does. I want you to check it just to make sure. It possibly could be the way it's being rendered. Optical illusion, so to speak. So be sure that you check that. Okay, so those are my recommendations. I'd like to see you make those changes. If you have any questions at all, please let me know. But don't forget the finals due coming up quickly here in next week during week 7. So we want to finalize everything. If you want to make some changes and run this by me again before your final submission next week, just post it right in this forum here, and I'll be sure to see it and provide additional comments. Okay, I think that's about. Yeah, I think that's all I have, Jasmine. So, of course, at this point, if you have any questions at all, please let me know. All right? Fantastic. Thank you very much.